Today, we will analyze Intel's 2023 second quarter earnings report. In the conference call, Pat Gelsinger, CEO of Intel, provided various tech and business updates. And here, we summarize 6 of the most important points. First, like many other tech companies, Mr. Gelsinger also stressed Intel's commitment to artificial intelligence. He claimed that Intel is uniquely positioned to offer the most cost-effective AI solutions to its customers, covering the entire AI continuum. For example, Intel promotes an open ecosystem with a comprehensive range of silicon and software IP, enabling AI development from cloud to enterprise, network, and edge computing. And it covers all the way from data prep to training and inference. He projected that the semiconductor industry will reach $1 trillion size by 2030, and 5 core factors driving that growth will be AI, pervasive connectivity, ubiquitous compute, cloud to edge, and sensing. Although Intel doesn't develop AI models directly, the increasing demand for AI products and services is expanding the pipeline of business engagement for Intel's accelerator products such as Gaudi, Flex, and Max. Just to briefly cover these key products, Gaudi is a deep learning processor for training and also executing neural networks. This AI accelerator chip is categorized as an NPU, standing for Neural Processing Unit. Flex series are data center GPUs that focus more on efficiency rather than high performance, as you can see here. However, Intel's Max series processor is more geared towards high density and high performance that can support AI workloads. Intel's Gaudi has gained value and recognition through public instances at AWS and commitments from other AI institutions like Hugging Face and Stability AI to emerging AI players like Indian Institute of Technology. Next, regarding Intel Foundry Services or IFS, this new business enhances Intel's scale, expedites advancements in cutting-edge technologies, and serves a pivotal role in IDM 2.0 strategy. Gelsinger also added that the geopolitical tensions, including the US-China conflict, reinforce the correctness of this IDM strategy. And thanks to IFS, customers benefit from access to the leading-edge manufacturing capacity outside of Asia, fostering a diverse supply chain and superior performance at 18A and beyond. He also highlighted Intel's processor leadership. Despite many people's lack of conviction, Intel is actually on track to achieve its goal of 5 nodes and 4 years, and to reclaim transistor leadership by 2025. Specifically about achievements of each node, Intel 7 has already gone into high-volume manufacturing. Intel 4, the first EUV node, is essentially complete, with product ramp-up coming up in the second half of 2023 with Meteor Lake. Intel 3 has met defect density and performance milestones for the second quarter, and remains on track for overall yield and performance targets. As a result, Sierra Forest will be launched in the first half of 2024, with Granite Rapids following shortly thereafter. And beyond this, Mr. Gelsinger said that Intel 20A will be a superior product with a backside power delivery method. Finally, Intel 18A is also showing promise, as Intel's joining the US Department of Defense RAMP-C and partnering with Ericsson regarding 5G offering indicate. Regarding the increase of manufacturing capacity for the IDM 2.0 strategy, the EU CHIPS bill supports Intel's effort to establish a robust capacity corridor in Europe. For example, in the second quarter, Intel announced an expanded investment in Germany and Poland, with plans to establish 2 leading-edge semiconductor facilities and a new assembly and test facility respectively. Also, Intel has applied for US CHIPS funding to aid the construction of its fab expansion in Arizona, working closely with the US Department of Commerce. Fifth, on the data center CPU roadmap, Intel is staying ahead of schedule. Emerald Rapids, the 5th gen Intel Scalable, is set to launch in the 4th quarter of 2023. Sierra Forest, the lead vehicle for Intel 3, will launch in the first half of 2024, and this silicon is hitting all performance targets. Clearwater Forest will come to market in 2025, manufactured on Intel 18A technology. Despite good technological performance, Gelsinger reported some concerns regarding server CPUs. Second quarter TAM for servers remains subdued, especially in enterprise and rest of the world regions, where all industries expect extended recovery periods. Server CPU inventory digestion is expected to continue in the second half, and impacted by the near-term focus on AI accelerators over general-purpose compute in the cloud. As a result, server CPUs are anticipated to decline modestly in the next few months before recovering in the fourth quarter. Despite these short-term headwinds, the long-term prospects for AI are seen as time expensive to server CPUs, and Intel's accelerator product portfolio are well positioned to gain market share in 2024. Finally, Gelsinger also underlined Intel's cost reduction goal. It is on track to reduce costs by $3 billion in 2023 and save $10 billion by the end of 2025. It implemented a new operating model that establishes a separate P&L for the manufacturing group, including IFS and Tech Development Group, to mitigate risk for external foundry customers and to change incentives to drive efficiency improvements. Now, let's move on to Intel's financial performance during the second quarter of 2023. Intel's total net revenue for the second quarter was $12.9 billion, down 15% year-over-year. This was caused by declines across client computing, data center, and network segments. Accounting for more than half of Intel's total revenue, client computing segment's revenue was $6.8 billion, down 12% year-over-year. This was primarily driven by overall notebook and desktop TAM contraction and slow customer inventory burn. Next largest contributor was data center and AI segment. Its revenue was $4 billion, down 15% year-over-year due to data center CPU TAM contracting significantly in the first half of 2023 and also due to competitive pressure. Network and Edge revenue was $1.4 billion, down 38% because of Edge and telecom demand softness and elevated network inventory levels. Mobileye revenue was $454 million, down only 1.3% year-over-year. Finally, the Foundry segment generated $232 million, up about 300% year-over-year. Operating expenses were $5.7 billion, down 10% year-over-year. Apart from major expenses, restructuring expenses were $200 million, up 130%. As a part of the restructuring program in order to rebalance its workforce and operations to create efficiencies. Other operating expenses were $5.5 billion, down 12%. More specifically, R&D was $4.1 billion, which is down 7%, driven by the effects of various cost-cutting measures. Marketing, general, and administrative costs were $1.4 billion, down 24%. Due to larger expenses than revenues across most segments, Intel's total operating loss was $1 billion, up 45% year-over-year. Although net income was profit, that was mainly due to tax benefits, about $2.2 billion. Capital expenditure for the year-to-date period was $13.3 billion, which is up 13% year-over-year, and this resulted in a negative adjusted free cash flow of $2.7 billion. So, combining the results of the first two parts we discussed so far, Intel is going through a financially challenging short term, while its long-term prospect is more positive, at least according to the management team. Now, here are the summary of Q&A session, which can be largely divided into two parts. First questions were about Intel's profit margin and cash flow. Regarding the future concerns of the business, the CEO mentioned cloud customers are currently prioritizing AI training environments. So basically, they are buying more GPUs that NVIDIA dominates, rather than buying the CPUs that Intel dominates. He claimed that this is a near-term phenomenon. When discussing the long-term outlook for the gross margin, the management highlighted certain factors impacting the financial performance. First, the implementation of 5 nodes in 4-year strategy will entail high startup costs, impacting gross margins negatively for a couple of years. Despite this, their current goal is to get back to process parity and leadership. So looking ahead, the launch of upcoming products like Sierra Forest and Granite will produce competitive offerings in the data center segment, further enhancing their margin outlook. In the longer term, the major drivers of their cost structure will be related to the internal foundry model as they scale up, and significant improvement in margin can be expected by 2026. Regarding the future cash flow, the CEO was optimistic about it turning positive in the second half of this year. He points to the successful improvement of working capital, bringing inventory down by $1 billion and reducing days sales outstanding on accounts receivable to just 24 days. The second part of Q&A focused on artificial intelligence. In response to the potential AI as a TAM expander, the management envisioned AI as a significant part of trillion-dollar semiconductor opportunity as a workload that will drive demand across a wide range of applications, from high-performance AI training to low-power inference. For instance, In data centers, AI workloads may require 10 megawatts and months of training. But after that training phase, AI models can be utilized with simpler inferencing tasks. So Intel anticipates with products like Meteor Lake, AI will be integrated into PCs, responding in seconds with just tens of watts of power consumption. Also, Intel recognizes AI's expanding presence in edge platforms across industries such as retail, manufacturing, and various industrial use cases. In this space, Intel aims to participate broadly across its portfolio. Regarding Gaudi, there is a good pipeline of opportunities for Gaudi in the cloud market. Intel anticipates its deployment in several hyperscale cloud providers, positioning it to compete directly against prominent competitors on the GPU front. Intel has already witnessed engagement from Tier 1 cloud providers with Gaudi, and next-generation cloud providers are also showing interest in this chip. Also, Gaudi instances are already available on AWS, and Intel is making it easier for customers to test Gaudi through the Intel Development Cloud, where they are building a 10,000-node Gaudi cluster for large-scale testing. Regarding the impact of Meteor Lake, its upcoming product, it will include a neural engine enabling AI processing directly on the client device. This will enable a wide range of AI-enabled applications and use cases to run locally and at the edge, without the need to rely on cloud-based processing. Examples of AI-enabled applications include real-time language translations in Zoom calls, transcription, automation, content generation in gaming environments, productivity tools, and much more. This advancement is expected to drive PC TAM as users embrace the new AI-enabled use cases, similar to how Centrino allowed users to go wireless without plugging into wire connections, which had huge positive impact in the notebook market in the past. Lastly, Gelsinger cites custom silicon in the AI market as a focus area for Intel. Intel has multiple ways to play this in market, including engaging with foundry customers for 18A opportunities, where some customers are looking to create their own unique versions of AI accelerator components, especially the large tech giants like Google and Amazon. Some of these opportunities will involve variations of Intel's standard projects, and Intel's IDM 2.0 strategy allows for collaboration with customers using their silicon design combined with Intel's advanced packaging. Intel believes that AI will be infused into a wide range of devices and applications, including edge devices, communication infrastructure, sensing devices, and automotive devices. Therefore, Intel sees opportunities to provide products and foundry services across the full spectrum of AI applications. To conclude, there were two news updates that Intel shareholders should be aware of. First, at its innovation event on September 19th and 20th, it will provide detailed information about its upcoming Meteor Lake processor for client PCs and Emerald Rapids processor for data centers. Intel will present its bold vision for AI, focusing on software. Gelsinger believes AI PC will bring new applications, and it can encourage independent software vendors. Although Intel recognizes NVIDIA's dominance in the data center AI market, it has a robust roadmap for its Gaudi product line. So far, Gaudi 2 is shipping in volume, and Gaudi 3, which is twice as capable, is set for volume shipment next year. Also, despite sanctions on Chinese semiconductor industry, Intel is expanding in China. Although Intel is building the most advanced fabs in the US and Europe, this article states that Intel recently established the Intel Greater Bay Area Innovation Center in Shenzhen, China. This is not surprising, since there are tons of clients in China who still use Intel products. Since Shenzhen is home to many high-tech companies, it makes sense that Intel continues to provide technical assistance to strengthen marketing support to local Chinese companies. Okay, that's it for today's update on Intel. In the following videos, we will reflect company's most recent status on the DCF valuation model and see how it changes the company's valuation. So please hit the like button below and subscribe to the channel for these contents. Thanks guys.